Myself, Sunil Kataria. I'm working with the Ashoka University. So, in the capacity of senior manager in the IT department. Uh, Ashoka University is a liberal arts university, and I joined that university considering that the education domain, specifically where the liberal arts or the non-technical education is studied there, to improve the quality of education through the technology means. And I bring my expertise in implementing the education systems from the previous organizations. And I hopefully have achieved some part of my goals here at the university. So, as a part of IT team, so my responsibility or my involvement comes in designing the policies for the students, designing the systems which are student facing or the stakeholder facing. You can consider the stakeholders in the university as the students, the parents, and the faculty. So the solutions which are used by the students and the faculty are the most concerned about. So we develop the LMS for the faculty and the students. We developed student information systems, as well as my role is to take part in the decision making committee where we discuss about the upcoming technologies, upcoming solutions which are best suited for our education industry. There are two verticals. One is the software systems and the cloud infrastructure part, which are the main focused area where the student, faculty, and staff are needed to be catered. So I manage that part. Uh, on above me, there is director in the IT department who handles who basically manages all the different sections of the department. It's very difficult to think about continuing the academic session without the help of technology. The best thing we had in our case was the solutions likes of LMS, which were in place when the pandemic starts. We integrated our web conferencing solutions like Zoom and Google Meet, and was in very comfortable situation to continue the academic session. So, considering the technology and its important aspect in the modern education system, I think without having the technology in our side, it was very difficult to manage the situation, which we handled very well. One thing is very clear that the education through online means will only grow in the future. So some of academic streams, like in our case, humanities and IT, can entirely be taught online or the through remote means. But we need to consider one aspect in this case, that the literacy or the digital literacy is not 100% in all of the areas. So we have students from all part of the country as well as from overseas, and we need to consider that not all of the students or all of the parents as well have the accessibility to to the digital devices or internet, just to say. So it is very difficult for all of these to have just in time education or the live or real time educations. So as we can move to the digital education through online means, we also need to have some infrastructure where the in-person teaching should be there or is also required, and some of the streams which also require the personal guidance or the hands-on labs also need to be taught in the physical means. So what I can say is that the best solution could be in the coming future would be the hybrid education, where some of the part of education or academic sessions can be go online, as well as some of parts which are still on its way to be digitized should require the in-person teaching. Stakeholders in an education organizations are basically three. So one is the institution and the faculty. Second are the students and their parents. And third would be their parents. So if we start with the institution and the faculty, so institution builder now has to focus more on building digital infrastructure. We just need to focus on that. Uh, Beside building their campuses or expansion to their buildings, they also need to create an environment where they need to educate the faculty about the digital technologies. And this pandemic basically provided the best opportunity for for the education institutions, where they can focus more on technology, more on students, which were previously restricted by the physical size of the classroom. So utilizing this scenario as the expansion of institution and expansion of their physical presence, or should I say the digital presence, it also opens more means of generating revenue, because now the institution has the global presence using the digital technology. They can cater more and more students rather than just which were previously restricted by the classroom size. So the second part is the parents. So parents, why I took parents in the first hand is that without parents, the students cannot learn from the starting age. So parents need to have the digital literacy before we go with the students. So they need to have some sort of digital education where they can get the learning of the digital means or devices, and then they can pass on their knowledge to their kids. The third one is students. Students has to change their mindset first of all, because when they were in the classroom, it was disciplined by the faculty or the teachers. But now they had to develop the sense of acceptance of knowledge when they were taught online, and also they need to make a discipline, or should I say that they need to accept the framework of education where they put themselves disciplined through the learning means. First of all, the digital transformation was forced to the education organizations, because most of the education organizations were not ready when the pandemic started. So digital transformation initiated willingly or unwillingly for some institutions increases the focus on technology. In our case specifically, we had the infrastructure in place, but we need to increase our capacity first, and also we need to learn more and more things in respect to the technology. Second, we came to face the situation where the digital security was not in place for most of the organization, including us. So this was the hot topic during the initial stage when the online classes started. And I think the investment in the education security specifically, because being an open system, it is very much in the focus for us. Second, the other one would be the mindset. Now, the founders are more keen to invest in technologies. They are more focused in increasing the capacity or the platform within the organization, so more and more students through the digital means can be taught. So these are some of my takeaway. And in addition, I can say that through these enhancement of or innovation in the higher education in the digital section, the one thing is basically good for the society is that we are reaching to more and more sections of the society, as well as we are we are focused, or we are reaching to the students which were not catered previously. Weaker section of society do not have access to the devices, not even the not the internet as well. Now here onus comes to the education institutions which are uh, well placed in respect to the funding, as well as the society itself should come forward to help here in setting up small clusters of digital sections, or you can say the libraries, where the weaker section of society students can gather in small numbers and they can access these devices which are set up there, and they can continue their learning. So and also, it's a opportunity for this section of the society, because considering us, where Ashoka University started some program for different section of the society. Now these students which obviously left out from the devices or from the digital era, they can get the quality education without incurring the cost, because when the digital form when we teach through the digital forms, we do not have the the limitation of the students within a class. Also my opinion is to most of the weaker section of the society do not have that flexible timing. Okay, so they cannot come on time to attend the classes and all. So we can, or the universities or the institution, as well as the corporate sector, they can help them providing these resources as and when needed to these sections of society. So Ashoka University is a not-for-profit university, first of all. Okay, and we have scholarships in place even before the COVID started. Now, after the COVID started, we dropped the fees. Also, we did not consider revenue, providing the education first, rather than getting the revenue out of students. Now, secondly, Ashoka University started some program. So within Ashoka University, there are departments who who taken the initiative to continue the education for the section. So they set up some online classes. Okay, through that, most some of the students and some of the section of the society got the learning in different should I say the courses, not specifically for the whole term, but the academic session, they got the opportunity to learn the some courses there. So security in respect to the data privacy or data theft was always present. Okay, and specifically in the education sections, where we put more emphasis on the digitization of the records, first of all. So if I speak about our institutions, our institution, Ashoka University. So first of all, we started the awareness program within our community, where we started sharing the content which students and faculty require to set up their devices and all, so they do not fall in hand of the phishing and the malwares. Now the second thing is the responsibility. We started the initiative where we share the knowledge within the community, that you should be responsible within the community, and it's just not the theft of the data, but cyberbullying is also another part in the education organization, where students are bullied more within the online classes. And you already knew about the Zoom issue and Meet issues there. Third one is the cybersecurity audit. we done the VAPT on our infrastructure, where we increase the security within our system. We also encourage some of our vendors to create some specific security products for education organizations, where being a remote being students on the remote classes, they can have the benefits of the security of their data as well as their privacy.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.